Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk. This is an insider's guide to real estate life and the pursuit of happiness, presented by the Yes Team Realtors, live on Facebook, live on Instagram. Thank you kindly for joining us here on Real Talk. A lot we're going to cover on today's show with the distinguished gentleman. If you guys love Charlottesville, if you love Central Virginia, if you love following the trends in this community, this is the talk show for you. Keith Smith, the star, will welcome him. Judah Wickhauer, our director. Let's go to the studio camera and get the distinguished gentleman on the show. Good Tuesday morning, Keith Smith. How are you?
Good morning. How are you today, Jerry?
I'm doing great. Family's good. Business is humming.
Love that shirt, man.
Thank you to Brooks Brothers. Won 3-1 in tennis matches this weekend. It was good.
Whoa, say that again. I missed that.
3 wins, 1 loss in tennis matches this weekend.
Wow. I just realized I don't have my hearing aids in, so I'll let you talk for a second.
Okay.
Put them in.
Well, you're looking sharp.
Oh, thank you.
This gentleman, half of the Yes Team Realtors, Yonna Smith, the other half. Keith Smith likes to say he's 1/8.
1/8.
And Yonna is 7/8.
That's exactly right.
Regardless, Keith and Yonna, A+ kind of people.
It's
better now?
It's better. Thank you. I can actually hear you. So I was wondering why I couldn't hear you. Right? So let's see if this works. 7/8. 1/8.
Adds up to 8/8, Keith.
There you go. Let's see if that works. I know Instagram doesn't work, but I think on Facebook, can they see that?
Yep, that's good.
Look at that, huh?
That's good. There you go.
We're trying to get some whiteboardage going on here. So, hey, the call-in I did yesterday, Ray, hopefully Ray is watching, Ray Cadell. We've been focusing a lot on numbers on this side of the mountain, and I wanted to take an opportunity to kind of kick the show off and talk a little bit about what's going on the other side of the mountain. I look at that regularly, but I just, Ray kicked it off, and we wanted to take a look at it, and some of the numbers are pretty astounding. I don't have any slides for that, but I did bring my trusty whiteboard with me.
Very nice.
So I looked at from October 1, just this month, what's going on in this month. And right now, there are 71 homes active. There are 106 that went pending, and then there's 100 that sold. Average days on market were 5. And the median sales price was $249. The interesting thing was I took a look at what it was doing the same time last year on the sold side of it, and so it was pretty eye-opening. So in 19, there was, at the same period, there was 80 sold. So there was 80 sold, so we sold 20 more units, and what was pretty astounding was the sales price was at $222, which is up $27,000. But here's the other thing that really kind of rocked my world on that. Days on market went from 5, which is current. Last year it was 31. That's a big difference.
That is a big difference.
So I wanted to give a quick shout out to Ray and try to test some of my whiteboard skills. I'm working on them. As per my youngest daughter says, Daddy, you got to work on your whiteboard skills. And the second thing she said to me after we went for a bike ride and a run, she pointed to my little belly and she goes, "Are you going to fix that before the big wedding in May next year?"
Oh, man.
Next year?
That's brutal.
It was honest.
Yeah.
It was honest.
But that's why you're riding your bike.
I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. I'm putting a ton of miles in there, and I'm not really, it just seems that waist just doesn't seem to get any skinnier.
Have you tried doing any planks?
Yeah, I do that. I do push-ups and planks.
You do?
I don't, but if Yonna's watching, it could be the half a bag of Oreos I eat every evening. So.
Half a bag of Oreos?
Yeah, maybe not quite.
Very
maybe
good.
Sometimes a little more, maybe sometimes a little less.
Well, it's not the gin.
No, totally not the gin. No. But I don't know. There's nothing more relaxing than a glass of cold milk and a bunch of Oreos. And I'm sorry, but I'm sticking to it. It's just the thing. God forbid there's ice cream in the house.
Should let you have snacks?
No, I sneak them.
You sneak them?
Of course I do.
Are you sneaking them?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, you buying them yourself?
Maybe.
Okay, I like your style right there. Give the show a like and a share. John Updike says he's tuning in and watching. Ray Cadell says he's watching. Johnny says, good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, give us a shout out. How's business going out there? Type in the feed if you don't mind. I reached out to you guys the other day, and you guys must have been so busy not to touch back. But they were swamped. I think I was there on Saturday or Sunday, and so it's just a home run of a restaurant that they got out there in Zion.
So what do you think about the real estate market? Iris Luck says, the Oreos are sticking to you, Keith.
Thank you, Iris.
Iris, Barbara Lundgren's inner circle right there. All right, so I'm going to throw this to you. You're looking at me. You're looking at me over here. What is the other side of the mountain doing from, it sounds like it's hopping, red hot.
It is.
What do you attribute that to? Just an expensive Charlottesville in Central Virginia?
Well, I think Ray hit nail on the head yesterday. I think that, you drive till you qualify. I hate that saying, but that's what happens. And, when you start looking, I didn't dig into the medium sales prices out there, that what is active, but when you start hitting that, entry level, that 200,000 to 250 range, and that's where they're hovering at, right? So this month, the medium sales price was 249. The same time last year was 220, 222. So, it's where the price is. And, oh, by the way, the majority of them are single-family detached homes. So just in our normal numbers that we do all the time, we factor out new construction because I think that skews the numbers. And we're looking at single-family attached and single-family detached. And when you look on the other side of the mountain, it just seems my cursory review of the numbers is that most of them are like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a little bit of land, not a lot, 2-car garage, that kind of thing. So you get a lot of house for the price, but you need to make that ride over the mountain, and the huge percentage of the folks that are living there work in the city, work in Charlottesville area. So I just think it's the same reason why Lake Monticello is booming, the same reason on the other side of the mountain, Green, and maybe Zion's Crossroads. Interesting thing happened yesterday that I actually didn't have it on my notes to talk about, and maybe some of the other realtors can chime in on it. We could talk a little about it and see if they're seeing this. But we've been having some conversations and some mentoring with some of other fellow real estate agents, and we're starting to see multiple offers on the $500,000 and up range, but not necessarily in the urban ring, or not necessarily in Charlottesville. So we have a client that we actually have an agent we're helping that has a client in Nelly's Foot at the bottom of the mountain. Put a house on the market, was low 5s, had 3 offers in 24 hours.
Wow.
We have another agent that we were helping up in Fontana, up in the Pantops area, low 5s, mid 5s, had multiple offers on that. And that's something I haven't seen a lot of tracking lately. Usually those multiple offers were usually at the not lower, but more cost-effective homes. So I'm starting to see this trend, and I'm curious if any other real estate agents out there or real estate professionals out there have actually seen that trending that way. I had a conversation with Greg Slater, and even the upper end of it, well north of $500,000 are starting to see multiple offers on it, and which gave me an idea that I think we're going to need to start talking about a few things on the show about bidding, how to actually win a bid. Today, we want to talk, at least I'd like to talk a little bit about for sale by owners.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, so, everybody's thinking, the inventory is low, the numbers are proving it, just to kind of wrap up a little bit more numbers on all this stuff. Right now, within a 20-mile radius of sitting right over here, we only have 134 homes active. This is this 20-mile radius, all the 6 jurisdictions, Charlottesville, Albemarle, Havana, Nelson, and Green, and only 200 went into pending. So we're putting more homes on the market, or putting more house under contract and pending that are coming on the market. So sometimes when that happens, folks think that this is the right time to try to sell the houses for themselves. So we've got a ton of slides, and I'll let Judah fix my Instagram before I start making them put up slides, because you can't be in two places at once. But we wanted to tackle, basically the 6 reasons, as I label it out, on why selling a home yourself without a realtor, without a real estate professional, is a mistake. And some of them are pretty intuitive, and some of them are a little bit outside of the box. So, Judah, when you get a minute, if you can pop up the intro slide,
sure,
I'd appreciate it. And thank you for keeping me straight over here, Judah. I've ordered my iPhone 12.
And that's on screen.
The iPhone 12?
No, your slide.
Sorry. I have my Captain Obvious socks on
I
today.
see that.
Yeah, so what would you think, Jerry? Because I know that you've had an opportunity to go through this, but do you think that, what would be the number that would come to your head that you think buyers, or sellers actually, or buyers and sellers are using real estate agents to sell their property?
I got to think it's over 98%, right?
Oh, you're close.
What's the percentage?
89. So
89. It's got to be a high percentage. What's the percentage with commercial?
Intro slide number 2, please. That's a great question. I didn't do that. Commercial is a little different, right? It functions a little bit differently. To be honest with you, to get on that soapbox a little bit, most commercial brokers, thank you, Judah. Most commercial brokers are not real estate agents, are not realtors. So they don't comply or have to comply or subscribe to our code of ethics and everything else. They work in different. That's not, they're not pros. I do a lot of commercial work, but they're not typically realtors. They're not typically members of the Charlottesville Association of Realtors. They work kind of independently because they have their own MLS systems that they particularly use, like LoopNet and CoStar and all these different other entities. But we're working on, at the leadership level, frankly, with CAR to try to figure out a way to get them a little bit more active.
Interesting. And what's the thinking with that? Even playing field?
Why they don't do that, or why we want to bring them
Both, all the above.
Yeah, so I that's a little bit above my pay grade on that end of it. But from my personal experience or my opinion, for what it's worth, I think what happens is they buy and belong to all these commercial systems, MLS systems, CoStar, so forth and so on, LoopNet. They don't necessarily need the MLS system. Now, we have a commercial component to it, so they kind of double pay everything. Everything they really need is on these other things. But we're trying to figure out the way to do some sort of data share. But I'm way out of my field here and pay grade on that. That'd be a better question for Quentin when he becomes president of CAR for next year.
Johnny Ornella says it's been crazy, 24/7.
Yeah,
We've been busy as soon as the doors open. It's nuts.
I cannot tell you how thankful I am to hear that, because 3 years ago I sold it really hard that this was the right place to be, and that opening up a brand new sit down 4,000 plus square foot restaurant in Zion's Crossroads was going to be a huge success. And I really had nothing more than just 30-something years of knowing that market.
A hunch, instinct.
And knowing it was going to work. So I had a few sleepless nights before their grand opening, and the soft opening that I met your beautiful wife and your beautiful son at.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, and true to the point, Steve and John was like, no, it's the opposite. We're this is just going to be crazy, and thank God. I have people that I meet in Charlottesville that actually drive out to Zion's Crossroads to buy their Mexican food.
Wow. That says a lot about these boys.
I'm so blessed and so honored that I was part of that, part of their family. It's pretty pretty awe-inspiring to see that family out there and work. And not to bring up a sad subject, but or not a sad subject, bring up a subject that you've had up on the show before. You know, just to think that you could just walk away from that and restart back up again, it's just
out of touch.
It's just crazy talk. To be
Evelyn Fuscus is watching the program. Hello, Evelyn. Welcome to the program.
Evelyn.
Welcome, Long and Foster, Ness Realty, Real Estate 3, Roy Wheeler Realty Company, Christie's, all watching the program as we speak.
I better get my game on, huh?
89% of folks looking to sell their home residential.
Buyers are still using agents.
Yeah, 89%.
So that means 11%
are not.
Which is a really low number.
That is a low number.
To your health, my friend.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. So what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, so I think we're going to get through that because the reason I wanted to start on that slide was you know, why is that number so? Right, exactly. Our chemistry's working, and it's only been, what, 10 minutes into the show.
Yes, David Varell in Nags Head, welcome to the broadcast, my friend.
There you go.
5 states watching you now.
Yeah, so the number one reason I think it is in today's world is, you know, our priority is your safety. And, you know, so why is that important in today's world, right? Because you have people walking into your home, and we're going to talk a little bit later. One of the key service that we provide amongst multiple ones that we'll get through is we know who's going in and out of your house. We can control who's going in and out of your house, and we can control the protocols that folks go in and out of your home. So we talk about, you know, the Batman and Robin show, right?
Yeah.
Which I can't wait until the 30th.
Can't wait either. I'm ready. I've tried it on. I'm good to go.
Oh, do tell.
I mean, it fits like a glove.
Mine needs a little bit of tweaking.
It fits like a glove. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to wear it all week.
Mine needs a little tweaking. All week? Oh, no.
I can wear it all week on this network.
You're going to wear it all week on the network?
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell.
So the first thing is, you know, when Judah gets an opportunity to unscrew my Instagram, I screwed up. Apologize, Instagram folks. We'll get him to put slide number 1 on because I'm pretty proud of these slides that I put together.
Sure.
But you know, priority number 1 is safety. Everybody, safety first, Batman, right? We talk about that all the time. And so Judah, when you get a chance, slide 1 on it. So we can control who comes in and out of your home, right? So we have these super lock boxes. So what happens now with these fancy iPhones that everybody has, when you go ahead and try to or show the home, you know, Jerry, real estate agent, is going to show my home. It opens up. We get an email. We know when you're in it. We know when you're out of it. You know, there's messages that pop up to, hey, please follow our safety protocols. Sometimes what we'll do is actually in the lockbox put an actual note so everybody has to read it. But we're going to make sure that who goes into your house uses safe practices, and when they finish up, that they clean up behind themselves and move in. So safety is kind of, you know, I wanted to start with safety because it's so important. And the second thing that really kind of gets into that, which is I don't have a slide for, and I was racking my brain a little bit today how we're going to talk about this, and I really wanted to do a little bouncing back and forth. But what normally happens, folks that do FSBOs or try to sell it, they have an unrealistic expectation of what?
Their price.
There you go.
What they're going to get.
Their value. And we've been talking...
For sale by owners, the FSBO acronym.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So they may have an unrealistic expectation about their value. Well, why is that? Why would they have an unrealistic?
Well, because they think they can sell a home on their own when they're not even in that business. It's like a dentist saying, that's like an accountant saying, I'm going to clean my teeth because I watched a YouTube video on dentistry.
You got that.
Yeah.
What else?
Why else are they trying to ask for more money than what their home is worth? Because they like money. They want money in their bank because their wife wants to go on a vacation or buy a new couch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your wife wants to go on vacation.
I think she wants a new couch and a vacation.
There you go. So why do they overprice?
Because they're unaware of the actual market.
There you go.
Yeah.
They don't have the tools that we have. And Yonna and I have a conversation actually yesterday with a client that we're about ready to list a home on. And we've been having a repetitive discussion with them, showing the data and the information. And the comment comes out, well, my Zestimate is here. We're saying the market is a little bit below that, you know, and we had to have that conversation with them. What's the difference? So I was trying to think the best way to explain what a Zestimate is and how they really do that.
I mean, it's just a barometer. It's like one barometer, one indicator, but not the actual one. I mean, all they're doing is aggregating data.
So all it is a mass appraisal system.
Right, that's it.
So you haven't received it yet, but you'll probably receive your new tax assessed value.
We did.
You received it?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. What's the tax assessed value versus what you paid for the house? You don't have to give me exact numbers. Which is higher?
The tax assessed value by $130,000.
There you go. So there's a show that I'm about ready to wrap up, and we're probably going to do that in the beginning of November. I'll give you a teaser to that. Do you know you can contest that?
Oh, yeah. I've done it here in the Macklin with my commercial.
There you go.
And it was not that hard.
Most people do not know that.
Yeah. And anyone that's watching, I've contested my tax assessed value in the Macklin building, the building this studio is in. We have 27 tenants in here. I've contested it twice.
Yeah.
And both times got what I wanted.
Every year, so in Fulvana County, we do it every 2 years, right? So what we have done every 2 years is we can test our assessment. It's always 80, 100,000 more, you know,
right.
Somewhere in that range.
The only time you don't want to challenge your tax assessed value is there's 2 times. You know what the 2 times are?
I'm listening. I'm learning. Look at this. I'm learning from you.
The 2 times, the first time was when it's lower than the actual value of the home and you know it. And then the second time is when you think you might be selling your home.
Yeah, so that goes back into pricing, right? So if you use a realtor to sell your house, we're going to price. What are you smiling?
Your wife wants a new couch.
I know my wife wants a new couch. My wife wants a new home.
She says I need a new couch as well. Yonna, I love when you leave comments like this, Yonna. You can tell the distinguished gentleman does too.
There's an inside joke or true story to that.
Are you going to tell us? Because if you tell us, it's not an inside joke anymore.
Yeah, so it's out now.
I love the Smiths. I love you and your wife. You guys are so great.
So 26 years ago, I bought Yonna a lazy boy for when Yvonne was born.
The chair?
Yeah, for nursing.
So she could rock?
She can rock.
You still have it?
Guess who sat in it after day 1 of owning it?
You. Did you give it back?
I never gave it back. And it literally, the other day, I went to kick it back.
Did it break?
And it broke.
Really?
It broke.
The arm on the side?
Well, the whole mechanism just kind of...
26 years is impressive.
Yeah, 26 years. I had it for 26 years.
26 years of use?
Oh, yeah. I use it every... That
was Dad's chair?
That became my chair.
Yeah.
And so I...
Is it in the living room?
Oh, in the bonus room.
Okay.
So I'm going to date ourselves.
Okay.
Date myself. You know, folks that rose up in the 70s, we would call it a TV room.
Okay.
So it's the bonus room, which is now the multimedia room, a.k.a. TV
the playroom, the Zoom room.
The Zoom room.
Yeah.
Well, no, we got...
No, not your room. I'm just talking in general for houses.
Yeah, sure.
Because they're having to pivot every single room in the house now. I mean, some folks are taking Zoom calls in the closet. Literally. I have a friend who is taking, because the wife got the home office. They're both working from home. This talks about what you and I talk to all the time. Wife works from home. The kids are learning virtually from home. The husband is working from home, and the only place the husband can take Zoom calls now is in the coat closet. They've taken all the coats out of the coat closet. They put a chair and a stool in the closet, a fold-out chair on one side, a stool for the computer to sit on, and then they blur the background. You know how you can blur the background? And that's where my friend takes his Zoom calls for work.
So do a Google search. You actually can, they're a little expensive, but you can actually buy like phone booths for the house or for the office. And they're literally set up that way. These little sound rooms that people can go in and do it.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It's about $3,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
$3K for a sound room?
Oh yeah, when you take a look at it, it's pretty cool. But you know, take
But
out.
you wanted it, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
And then what did Yonna say? What? No,
No.
go upstairs. Is that what you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Michael Guthrie, CEO, Roy Wheeler.
You're giving me a hard time.
Each neighborhood is different when it
Thank
comes
you.
to tax assessments.
Thank you for bringing us back.
Tom
to the subject.
Woolfolk, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah. So pricing is so important. But this is the tool that, as Michael just outlined, it's absolutely perfect for bringing us back on subject. So the reality of it is from. So what happened with this particular client when he and they felt that their Zestimate was the real number, and we were pushing back on it with the data. We got a little lucky during the process. A house literally across the street, same square footage, same property size, you know, is literally identical house, very small, minimal differences, sold for the number that we said it would sell for. And he kind of looked at us, and he happens to be a fellow Marine, and he looked at us, and he goes, okay, I get it. This is where we're going. And we went there. So what would have happened if he would have put that on the market? That's why pricing is so important. If you were to put that on the market so if you overprice, you know, 10%, it cuts your eyeballs back by 30, 40%. You just drop on the viewership. And one of the charts we're going to look at is where the internet is just exploded as far as the medium where people are going in there. So they'll do their search on Zillow. They'll take a kind of a look at it and all that great stuff. But they need that trusted advisor to price out exactly how. And the other issue is Zillow or Zestimate doesn't know your life circumstances.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Doesn't know your motivation to do it. So it's a really great tool just to guesstimate, but I don't call it a Zestimate. I call it a guesstimate.
It's a conversation starter.
But I actually mapped out a show this morning about, you know, getting education out to folks on how they can contest their tax value. It's called a zoning. You got to go to zoning board of appeals, and not a zoning board of appeals.
You just got to fill out a piece of paper and take it to City Hall.
Well, that's not case in all.
Oh, that's different from Fluvanna.
Yeah. It's a board of equalization. That's it.
Okay.
There's a board of equalization.
Gotcha.
So each jurisdiction will set up a board of equalization. So what'll happen is you receive your taxes. You have a certain. It'll tell you you have a certain period of time, and you actually, you know, what we do is we go in front of this board and show them the data, and then they change it. It happens in our case, every 2 years, and they change it down accordingly, because you want to at least be at par with the market value is, preferably below is what you want to do. So pricing is super important. You know, you know, you're just not going to get that knowledge, and Michael outlined it absolutely perfect. So what most folks do with FSBOs, right? They do the Zillow thing maybe, or they put a sign in the yard, and we just had this whole conversation how Zillow doesn't really kind of get it, and we've had shows about this on how you don't have your trusted advisor to go ahead and do that. If you don't mind, slide number 2, Judah.
And why don't we give some love at this moment to Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Roy Wheeler Realty Company, as slide 2 is coming on screen, Keith.
So thank you for keeping me on track here. So, you know, Roy Wheeler Realty, you know, the man, the myth, the legend, he keeps on chiming in great knowledge, and it couldn't ask for a better source of knowledge. Interstate Pest and Service Company is another reason why you want to use a real estate agent, not trying to sell this on your own. Because, and I don't even have it in my list, and thank you for doing that. So when you bring a Yonna or a Keith or any of these trusted advisors that are watching the show today, they'll walk through the house, and we've had this discussion numerous times, and they'll be the source of the source. Shout out to Michael Guthrie, he taught me that. You know, be the source of the source. So if you're walking through the house and you know, because we're going to talk about the future negotiations, which is a real great, strong asset that we bring to the table. When you get, you know, what you want to do is before you put your home on the market, regardless how hot it is, right? You want to try to get in front of any issues before they do. And Interstate Pest Control, Pest and Service Companies is absolutely the best way to go, because they will go ahead and get whatever issue's done prior to hitting that listing.
Listing your house, yeah, absolutely.
So very interesting stat. So prior to, this is a NAR stat. So prior to COVID-19, there was about 44% of the buyers did their first step on the internet or looking online. You know what that number is now?
What is it?
93%.
I believe it.
So that's just between March and today.
Yeah.
So there is a, hold on a second here. So 2A, if you don't mind, please. When I put this together, it blew my mind on it. But if you take a look at it, back in 2004, yard signs and the internet were on par. So between 2004 and 2019.
Some neighborhoods don't even allow the yard signs.
That is correct. Or you have to have a specific kind.
Yeah.
You have to have certain rules.
Does the lake allow yard signs?
They do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But just look at that, 2004. I mean, when I was putting this together, that just kind of blew my mind. 2004, look, there's a few years back, but it wasn't that far back.
No.
And as you start kind of climbing up.
All right, and can I say this? Can I put this out there? I'm going to put this out there. This is coming from me. And there's a lot of agents watching the program right now. This is coming from the owner of an advertising agency here. Okay. Any agent that is watching the show, can you go in a one shot with me? Any agent that is watching the show that is still spending their money in print newspapers, please stop. There's not a single person under 45 years old that is seeing your listing in print. The last time I picked up anything print, 2006 maybe. I just want to get that off, because there's a lot that are doing it, and they're just wasting their money.
So let's talk about that.
Please.
So I purposely wanted to throw this out there, and thank you for picking up and running with it.
Absolutely.
Because this is your world.
It's what I do for a living.
So you're in this.
Started in print. Print trained me on all their nuances and tricks of the trade. First job out of UVA was at the Daily Progress and in their real estate publication.
But we just talked about internet is off the charts. 83% of folks are using Realtors to buy their house. So we got 83% of folks looking at that. We got, the numbers have jumped up to 93% looking online, and internet usage is just going through the roof from 2004. It is so important to get that right. And, I'm an old dog trying to learn new tricks, right? And I'm trying to, but I'm smart enough to know that that's the space everybody needs to be in. So from your experience, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
From your experience in what you do, so if I'm trying to sell my house and you're trying to sell your house and I'm not using a realtor and I'm taking crappy iPhone pictures or...
Because you're talking to somebody who did the FSBO.
I know that.
Yeah, okay.
I know that.
Okay.
I know that. Just work with me.
Okay. All right.
So I took it. I want to do a little bit of devil's advocate here.
Okay.
So I took an iPhone, took a couple of crappy pictures of the house, took a couple of videos on it. You're a real estate agent, right? You hired a real estate agent, and you're the real estate agent doing your house, and they go ahead and do a professional photography, professional video. There's people are looking at online 3 to 4 times before they actually pick up the phone and call. What do you think is going to get better traction? My crappy, because people, they may not look at numbers. They're going to look at those pictures first.
Sure.
And if it doesn't excite them, and if it doesn't cause them...
Digital curb appeal.
Thank you. That's our term. That's what I was shooting for.
Digital curb appeal.
Digital curb appeal. So your digital curb appeal is so important now, and we've coined that phrase on the show. Actually, we stole it from your lovely ladies at
the Mom Group in Glenmore.
Mom Group. But it is so important, and you're only going to get one shot at this, right? You only get one shot at a first impression. So to me, it's super important. That's what we're going to bring. We're going to bring the skills and the right folks at the right time to get in there. And we're going to talk a little bit later about this. If you use a realtor or a real estate agent or a real estate professional over FSBO, national average, you actually get 6% more for the house.
That's right.
So well, hold it. That's pretty much what real estate agents cost, right?
No, because in most FSBO situations, the person selling their home does not have representation, but the person is selling a home to a buyer that is represented by an agent. If you're getting 6% more, you're getting net 3% more because you're not kicking 3% to seller representation.
No, it's costing you 3% more.
It's costing you 3% more. Excuse me. Yeah, it's costing you. Right. 3%. I'm saying an agent would get you 3% more for the sale of your home.
Okay,
is what it is.
We'll split the hairs on that
one.
But the bottom line is you're gonna make the same amount of money, or if not more, right? And you don't have to go through all the BS to get there. But that was later in the slides. But I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So one of the things that are near and dear to my heart is, and one of the tools that I think we bring to the table, I know we bring to the table, is negotiating skills. So that's slide number 3, Judah. So there's going to be another slide we're going to show in a little bit later, or maybe I did not bring it with me. No, here you go. So do me a favor, put on 5A for a second on that. So what that slide is that I put together on that, it shows FSBO as a percentage of all home sales have fallen dramatically over the next 35 years. So it went from back in 1981, 85, somewhere in the 20% range. Now it's down to 8%, depending on the region that you're in. So it's just constantly dropping. Why is that? Why do you think we were going in the 80s up in the 20%, and now we're at the 8 or 10% range?
It sounds counterintuitive, but I would say it's the emergence of the internet.
Well, it's the emergence of the internet, but what it really is, the process is completely different and much more arduous, and you have so many more boxes to check and landmines to navigate through than we had back then. I tell this story all the time when we're just related to the development side of things. When I did my first really large subdivision in '97, and went ahead and we purchased the land. It was 150 lots. Went through rezoning, got my money, so forth and so on, and put a bulldozer on the job site. It took about 9 months. It takes about 5 to 6 years to do that now. And the reason I know that is we're doing a project on Colonial Circle over on 53 and 618 that we're in our 5th year of doing it. We haven't even broke ground yet on that project yet. So similar, it's a little larger, but basically a similar scope on it. So everything has gotten completely more difficult to navigate. Well, that's why negotiations are so things. First thing you got to negotiate is price, right? But more importantly, and that's something that we bring to the table. Okay, fine. You negotiated a price. Is the buyer qualified?
Right.
Right? Even if it's a cash deal, how does that work?
You're saying if it's a cash deal, finish your thought?
Excuse me?
Finish your thought?
Yeah, so is the buyer qualified? Does the buyer have the cash? How does that work?
I mean, what I would do is I would look at the guy's bank statement.
Yes, of course. You'd have to,
show me your money.
Well, you wouldn't do a bank statement. You would get somebody to do a verification of funds.
Yeah.
But that's 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 or whatever it is, it's going to be financed. So is Mr. and Mrs. Miller qualified to buy this house? Because here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to take the house off the market and find out 30 days later as you're going through the loan contingency.
But they didn't have the money.
And now you just lost 30 days on the market.
Yeah. And then the listing starts having being a little long in the tooth, and people are asking why.
Becomes stale.
Yeah.
So the negotiating the deposit. What's a reasonable amount of deposit, right? And why do you want a deposit? What does that show?
It shows that you're serious and you have skin in the game.
When somebody writes a check and it clears, regardless of where it sits, that's a real,
that's serious. It's a transaction.
They're legitimate.
Yeah.
what kind of the loan profile, right? Go back to that chart over there. The loan profiles back in the 80s and the 90s weren't what they are now. There's so many multiple different loans, VA, FHA, VHDA loans, which are rural loans, on that stuff. How much down payments do they have? It's just, there's this whole negotiations that has to go along with the buyer. And then what, as you articulated, the other thing is as a FSBO. So Jerry Miller is now negotiating with Keith Smith, who's been doing this for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm now representing Judah and this buyer, and you're paying the brokerage commission on the buy side on that stuff. So now you need to negotiate with me, and you don't know who your buyer is, and so that goes through. And then the big thing too is contingencies, right? There's all kinds of contingencies now, home inspection contingencies. We have just a prime example. There was a radon scenario that we're dealing with at the moment, that the builder installed too small of a diameter of a pipe in the slab, right? Now, because of my expertise and the realtor's expertise, when we took a look at it, we're representing the seller in this case, we took a look at it and said, whoa, time out. Let's get in an expert in here. I think there's a problem here, because normally they're 4 inches, right? So there's a huge volume difference between a 3-inch pipe and a 4-inch pipe. And we brought in the expert, and the expert looked at it and said, absolutely. And so instead of going through and installing something that we knew it wasn't going to work, that would have been a problem at the back end at the closing table.
You fixed it.
We fixed it before it became a problem. So these are all kinds of contingencies, and they're all kind of popping up now. Like right now, you're seeing a lot of contingencies about early possession agreements, right? Or seller, because now I've sold my house and I can't move, or buyer, the buyer wants to move in early, or something along those lines. But there's all kinds of contingencies that you didn't have back in the 80s and the 90s, and it's just an overwhelming thing to navigate. The other issue that we talk about at the show all the time is the appraisal process. So back in the 80s, back in the 90s, and back before 2004 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, you didn't have the appraisal process that we have now. So back then, what would happen is the first bank of Jerry would have 1 or 2 appraisers that was on your pre-approved list. Now it doesn't work that way. Now what happens is it goes into a pool. So we've talked about this many a time. So now not only do you may have to negotiate with an appraiser, and guess who's the only people that really can talk to an appraiser?
Who's that? A realtor.
That's exactly right. Banks can't now, right? Even though you're paying for it, at the end of the day, they're not going to really talk to you. They're going to talk to us. So we have situations that happen all the time where the appraisal's a little bit off, and we provide comps to the appraiser, and if it's legitimate, they'll change it. What we do, and most real estate agents do, is we actually provide a package for the appraiser before they show up.
You're helping to determine value.
Absolutely, because the first thing we're going to ask, right? Again, all these negotiations, all these pieces of this process that you unless you've been through this many times before, you just don't know it's there. Right? So what happens with the appraiser thing, you can get an appraiser from Waynesboro, or you can get an appraiser from Harrisonburg that's doing Lake Monticello. It happens all the time. And, great person, a professional, but what does he really know about the Lake Monticello market? So we're going to help you. And we're going to know who that appraiser is and where they're from before they show up. Because guess what they got to do? They got to call us, the listing agent, to get into the house. Hey, Mr. Appraiser, great. Love that. We'll open the house for you.
We'll have this ready for you.
We'll have this ready for you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, not trying to do your job for you. I just want to let you know there's a package on there with some information that you may or may not be aware of. You don't want to be the know-it-all. You just want to, again, be the source of the source and provide the information. And some of the real estate agents chiming on can probably fill in, but most deals go south around pretty much two things nowadays.
Inspection and appraisal.
There you go. So the last item was inspections, right? It is a complicated process. I am blessed to be able to say I've built 600 houses in my career. I built a ton of homes in my career.
Yeah, you have experience.
I know a little bit about what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're looking at, and it becomes this whole different, it's a whole new set of negotiations as part of it. After you get through the price and the timing and all that kind of great stuff, it becomes a second set of negotiations, to be frank with you. But how to navigate the home inspection contingencies and all this different stuff that, unless you have experience with this, or you're paying a lawyer a lot of money per hour, and some people will do that, to actually walk you through this stuff. Now, if you have a lot of experience, then maybe you can do that. But, it's, to me, as you can tell, I love negotiating. Right?
I know you do. You're good at it.
And, but it's, it's something that we need to talk about. So we're bouncing around a little bit. My number 4 is the purchaser qualified. My notes I wrote to myself, enough said. Right? Right? You got to, if you're representing yourself, how do you know Jerry Miller is qualified to buy this? And the way we know that is because the pre-qual letters that we would get from Scott Morris, who's a trusted professional we know is good, right? If we're representing you as a seller and we get some pre-qual letter from some internet provider
that you don't know,
that we don't have an actual person that we need to talk to that's out in Kalamazoo, wherever, or whatever they are, and the thing that, because they will always be roadblocks. There is always a hiccup between contract, particularly in financing, between contract and closing. There is never not one. We did the 9/11 show, right? And I've said this more than once. Even though I would have, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, New York City firemen, what we do very well as real estate agents is put fires out and manage expectations. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Miller, we've got this, right? We have a deal that's closing on Tuesday, and the septic needed to get pumped out, and the guy that was hired to do that is gone. I can't find him. Just 2 days ago.
But you had somebody else you knew.
Of course.
Yeah. And you made it happen.
And it is, what's today? Tuesday.
It's going to close on time.
It'll close on time.
Where did the guy go?
Great question.
He just left.
When you don't answer phones, texts, and emails, and
has it been days?
Oh yeah, and you're supposed to have had it done on Monday, yesterday. You get factored out of the equation real fast.
Absolutely.
And so we sent them a disengagement email. You are now fired, for lack of a better term. And we hired somebody else to come in and get it done. But now that process, now he has to come in, get it done. We're going to close this on Thursday. He's going to come in tomorrow morning to get it done. He has to get it done. So one of us, our team members, are going to have to meet him there because we want to get an invoice from him right away, because that invoice now needs to be sent off to the closing attorney so everything can get paid, because the buyer's agent or the buyer side of the equation isn't going to close unless they get a paid receipt.
Your boy Trevor Daniels watching.
Hey, Trevor.
He's giving you props.
Hey, Trevor.
Hold on, let me finish this comment. I will relay this to Keith Smith on air. You want to hear this? And Yonna. So Trevor and his wife Mona gave us an adjective flashcard that we still have.
I'm waiting for my realtor one.
They came on the show.
Yeah.
Trevor says, and they're clients of Keith and Yonna.
They're great clients, great people.
Sold their home,
yeah,
and bought a home.
Yeah,
helped them.
Great people.
Cascadia.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, they came on the show and we were talking about it, and we were showing their address. But that's not where they live now. That's the one they sold.
That's the one they sold.
Yeah. Trevor says, as someone who bought and sold their last home with Keith and Yonna Smith, They are true professionals at everything being discussed. Keith has a true gift of keeping all parties communicating, informed, calmed, collected, all the way to the finish line.
Huh?
That's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, but, you know.
Trevor's awesome. Trevor, I enjoy communicating with you via Facebook Messenger as well. He's good people.
Oh, yeah. They're just awesome people, awesome family. And we've just been, you know, this is going to be a horrible excuse, but we've been extremely busy. But we owe a visit to go out and see the boys. They got chickens.
I heard.
You saw it on Facebook, right?
Oh, I mean, he sent me a message. The chicken's arriving.
Yeah. So,
and cows, I believe, Trevor. Is that right?
No cows.
I think.
No cows. No cows.
No cows?
Just chickens.
Just chickens.
So
okay.
we're going to get ourselves in trouble.
Okay, just chickens, Trevor. Just chickens.
Sorry, Trevor. Just chickens.
He just laughed.
Yeah. So, you know, it's moments like that.
But you love your job.
Well, I love my job every day.
Me too.
You know, I'm blessed. I wake up every morning, sometimes obscenely early, and I just love what I do.
Yeah.
We love helping people, you know, and
How'd you meet Trevor and Mona?
Excuse me?
How'd you meet Trevor and Mona?
To be honest, on the show.
Oh, yeah? That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's great to hear.
Yeah, they connected with us from the show. It was awesome. You know, they reached out and connected to us with the show. Actually, I think they connected through you.
I mean, I thought that's what you were going to say. I mean, I already knew that. Okay. It's okay. Through the show worked as well. Through the show worked. See, Smith likes me because he does a little bit of this too. And Smith likes it as well. Come on, Keith. You did it.
So the Robin suit fits you, huh?
Keith, it does.
Yeah.
I had to put it on because once I saw the picture on the thing, the dude is basically wearing a male stripper outfit. You have me in, okay? My wife said, "You're going to wear this?"
Oh, well, don't go there. We don't want to hear about that.
This is like a male stripper outfit. Robin's going to be wearing on set. Is yours like this? Is it as risque as mine?
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure.
It has tights?
It has tights.
And it has essentially the tighty whities?
It has the tighty whities.
Does it? But yours are black.
Exactly right.
All right, Keith Smith is going to be wearing tighty whities.
All I'm telling you is we're adjusting ours.
How are you doing? You're taking it to a seamstress?
Who knows?
Okay. Are you really adjusting it?
I got to tweak it just
Have you tried it on?
I just got to tweak it just a little bit.
Barbara Lundgren said, tweaking or less Oreos, Keith?
Thank you, Barbara. I love you too.
Tweaking or less Oreos. So are we going to wear it on Tuesday the 27th and Friday the 30th? And I told Patty Zeller that you and I, Judah, who's going as Alfred, he's going as Batman, I'm going as Robin, Judah's going as Alfred. Liza already has her costume over there, Bat Dog. Isn't that what Liza is, Bat Dog? I told Patty Zeller that we were walking from the Omni down the downtown mall as a gang and then walking into City Hall to see if we can get a meeting with interim city manager John Blair. You said you were doing that.
No.
Did you not say that?
No. Trevor, go replay the tape. That's not what I said.
Barbara said, I don't think we can handle 2 days of this.
I agree.
We should walk there to City Hall in costume.
I thought I said I would be fine with everything
You said you would walk down the mall.
That's what I said. I didn't say I was going to. You're trying to get me into trouble there, Mr. Miller. Slide number 4, if you don't mind. Because I'm like really impressed with my slide work I did.
I thought the slides are great.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell you're putting time into them.
Yep. Was rolled out of bed.
Yonna did the emoji where it's like, nervous.
Because she's seen me in the outfit.
Says maybe it's the ice cream. Maybe it's the ice cream from Yonna. She's seen you in the Batman outfit?
Maybe.
She did? Okay. I don't know. I don't think I want to ask any follow-up questions on that.
You don't want to.
Okay, I'll stop.
Hey, honey.
Here's the slide. Speaking of slides,
isn't that an awesome slide?
You really have done a good job with your slides.
I'm trying hard. I do a little plagiarism. And a little bit of
we don't need to admit that.
Cutting. Yeah.
We got a cool whiteboard. We got this. Now we just got to get your phone on the right setting for the next Instagram Live, which we will. That's okay.
I thought I did it.
That's okay. It's
sorry,
okay.
guys.
So we're having a great show. You're doing well.
So we got more. We got two
People
more.
are saying poor Judah Woodcaller to deal with these two guys. You have anything to say? No.
Judah's smart, man.
Yeah.
So slide number 5. We're going to try to get back on track there, Robin. Right?
Your CEO said, no City Hall visit. And that's from Michael.
And as I do everything my CEO tells me to do.
Michael, does he do everything you tell him to do?
Let's go on. Next slide. What was
Okay,
that?
next
Slide number 5. So we talked about how difficult the process is getting on it, but and we kind of danced around this subject a little bit. But everything since 1980s until now, the paperwork is. I remember, God, 20-something years ago. The real estate contract was, a few pages, and Michael will be able to chime in on that. Now it's multiple pages. We got a COVID-19 addendum. It's the legal documentation to get through all this. And oh, by the way, one thing that isn't in the slide here, and something that Yonna and I and every real estate agent that's watching this, CAR and NAR and everybody we take this extremely serious. What is it? We ain't even talking about it yet.
Are we talking ethics? Code of conduct?
Fair housing.
Fair housing?
That D word, discrimination.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that as selling your house and you end up saying something that you ought not to say and you shouldn't say, that could end up very, very, put you in a bad spot. It's just wrong and immoral to start with. But so that's a topic that I didn't even put down in my notes here today, that we as realtors, and Mona, please give me the card so I can actually say that right one day, the phonetics of it.
Michael Guthrie says you're very coachable.
Yeah.
And he was backing you up because you did say no City Hall last show.
Yeah.
He's watching the show.
He's just a really good Christian, and he's trying to be Christian because I'm not so sure that I'm coachable. My wife would tell
coachable.
You.
Yonna, he's coachable, isn't he?
So documentation has just gone off the charts. And
as it should.
Well, and it's more than that because the legislature creates these new laws, which is all good stuff. It's part of the process. Right, and for instance, I just keep on going back to fair housing. It's just amazing. I'll leave names out of it, but I was having a conversation with a realtor from a different agency, a different brokerage over the weekend. That they and I was super proud of this person that fired a client on the spot because they wanted not to go in a certain particular neighborhood for a certain particular reason, and literally fired them on. Told them to get out of their vehicle, take your phone call, call somebody. Get out of my car now.
Wow.
You know what? I'll leave names out of it, but I got chills when that was told to me. It's good for you, and that's what we're supposed to do, and that's what any good realtor will do. But as a FSBO, as a for sale by owner, you have to be extremely careful from doing it. You can't, we talk to internet. You can't post things. You can't say things that would run afoul with that. So we talked a little earlier, and about the 3% or 6% that if you could do the slide number 6, that you net more when you use an agent, and it's statistically correct. It's proven that it does that. And there's a reason why, 86% or 87%?
89%.
89%, thank you. Use realtors because they're making more money using them. And they go through all this particular process in it. So, this has been on my to-do list for weeks and weeks and weeks to talk a little bit about. We seem to have not been able to make it there, so
we got it done.
We got it done today. got one slide, and then I would love to answer any questions off the feed if there is any. Slide number 7. It's just the top level 5 reasons why you want to use a real estate professional. And if you noticed, I dropped the word realtor out because I'm struggling.
Well, you've been saying it better.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, you are getting better.
I need coaching. I need
realtor.
Coaching. Can you keep it up there for a few minutes? Thank you. Help with all the disclosures, necessary paperwork in today's heavily regulated environment. That's what we were talking about. We're well educated in the real estate experience and through the entire sales process. So from the point of putting your house on the market, navigating all the landmines, for lack of a better term, such as your septic pump out guy don't show up or gal don't show up. You've got a way to do it so we can stay on track and close. Because this particular deal is a domino deal.
Right.
Right? So that's a whole nother topic which we didn't even talk about, because if your deal doesn't close, then is actually in this case 3 other transactions. That's this many. 3 other transactions don't close. We act as a buffer, as a third party, and that is super valuable, right? So when that's what negotiators do. They act as a buffer to try to manage stuff back and forth. We understand today's market value, Zestimate. All these apps don't do that. We understand what it is. And maybe just to play a little bit off of what Trevor has said about Yonna and I, and most real estate agents, or all real estate agents that are professionals out there, the key thing here is to explain to Mr. and Mrs. Miller this process in a way Mr. and Mrs. Miller can comprehend it or understand it. So I got it out. That's my FSBO.
That was good.
That's my FSBO 101 class.
Well, that was a good screen. That was a good show. Yonna says you're coachable at times.
She has to add at times.
And it's real tour, Yonna said. You're coachable.
I'm from Brooklyn. Give me a break.
You are, I say, very coachable. We've been doing a show together for 2 years. The final 18 months, since COVID, twice a week.
Yeah.
On top of the text messages and phone calls, you're very coachable.
So, what was that? What was the, I think it was a Dirty Harry movie, or somebody, one of Clint Eastwood movies. A man should know his limitations. I know my limitations, and I know, and I'm serious. If I'm way outside of my sphere of influence, my understanding, I seek out trusted advisors, right? And hey, teach me how to do this. And I'm a little slow, but I'm learning Instagram.
You're doing a heck of a job, my friend.
I'm learning Instagram.
You're doing a heck of a job.
Anything
Ray,
on the feed?
Ray, thank you for sharing the show.
Oh yeah.
People are saying Batman wants to change into Clark Kent today. And that's because you're doing all the presentations here, and you're doing a really good job.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent is Batman's. Well, Clark Kent is Superman's alter ego. Yeah. So that's 2 different superheroes that got mixed and jumbled.
Yeah. So I at one point I was thinking about doing a Superman thing, but what does that make you? Lois Lane? No.
I think that does make me Lois Lane.
No.
Does Superman have a homie?
Yeah. What's the guy that takes the photographer? What's that?
Jimmy Olsen?
Jimmy Olsen.
Good job, Judah.
Jimmy Olsen.
Judah knows the stuff on trivia. Jimmy Olsen? What did Jimmy Olsen do?
He was the photographer at the Daily Planet, right?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Jimmy Olsen. So is he Lois Lane?
No, let's move on.
All right, so when you brought this up, okay.
We're going down a rabbit hole.
Cora's watching from Ting, and she says, when buyers know the home has Ting internet, fiber adds a value to a home.
So great. So thank you very much. 2 things. Pearl certification adds 5%, right? And
one of the sponsors of our show.
And we know it, and because we can prove the numbers to them, and when we sit down to list. So not only are we going to bring somewhere between 3 to 6% over that, we're going to bring another 5% on top of that. And then if you have Ting and you don't, or there's Ting available to your property, you don't know it's available, you don't have it connected, that brings, what was the number?
3%.
Another 3.
Yeah, fiber.
So 5, 3, and 6.
I mean, you're seeing the value of fiber all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, you have to in today's world.
Iris says Yonna is Lois Lane.
Yonna's my rock star.
Yeah. Iris Luck, thank you for offering that comment. Yonna, you are Lois Lane. That's from Iris Luck. I love the community here, don't you?
You know, I
love how we have a lot of like Iris, for example, or Barbara, or Ray, or Scott, or Christopher Eagle, or Michael, or Tom.
Congratulations to Christopher Eagle, by the way.
He got married.
He got married.
You saw that on Facebook.
He got married.
Pretty lady. He outkicked his coverage.
Oh, we're
good job, Christopher
as
Eagle.
we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't. It's, you know, we have our pre-production shows, and then you tell me a little bit about the viewership about the week before, and it blows my mind, right? And I got phone calls. What was it? Yesterday, from people that watched the show on Friday.
And what do they say?
You know, hey, great job. Thank you for doing it. You know, they were very topic specific. They were industry folks, other realtors, real estate professionals on that end of it. But yeah, it just blows my mind. But you know, and it's just an awesome and honorable and you know, humbling.
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah, without doubt.
And you feel it.
I do, actually.
I know you do.
I do.
And I feel it too. And I never thought, and frankly speaking, and I'll throw this to you, I never thought when we created this idea, I never thought it'd turn into something like this.
I know I didn't. You sold it to me like it would.
Well,
but
I'm saying when I started from scratch,
oh,
before you even got involved.
Oh, yeah, got it, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, my wife and him,
Yeah,
he's
sure.
like, we're not going to do this.
So it brings up a topic that I wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
Off air.
What's that? Let's bring it up on now.
Yeah, so I'm working on mapping out a series of shows, and I've been working on it for about 6 months. And I've never told you this. And because Yonna and I get asked all the time, how did we go from losing everything we've had to here? How did that happen? How did you navigate that? How did you do that? And it's, you know, stuff that we're just intuitively do. Then we have people like Michael Guthrie that we couldn't do what we were doing without him, and all the lovely sponsors that are on it, and you guys and everybody in our world. But I'm actually working on a show that I think I want to try to tackle that. And you kind of teased me a little bit the other day. I don't remember what day it was. It was a Friday or Tuesday show when you were talking about maybe going a little bit longer. This one might take a little bit longer.
Okay.
I really got.
I don't know if I said that was okay because we're already going long.
Yeah.
But
we can do a series of shows.
I think that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I think how you went from survival to fittest.
Yeah.
How you made it happen.
Yeah. I think we just get questions all the time about that, and it's just making me think that might be a good. So anybody who's watching, if you think
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You should totally do that.
Yeah, I think,
and you can start Tuesday, a Tuesday show with the struggles, what happened.
Yeah.
And the Friday show would be how you persevered and overcame.
So
it could be a two-part miniseries. A two-part miniseries. And the two-part miniseries, the fall and rise of the Smiths.
Yeah. No, we're going to take it a different approach. But
you don't like that idea?
No, the 2-day miniseries I like, but I haven't. Mr. Miller.
Yes.
To get ready, my brain ready for today. It took from 3 o'clock in the morning until I showed up here. No, excuse me, I apologize. I lied to you. 4 o'clock in the morning until I came here. That show is going to require a lot of my time and preparing and getting it right, because I'll end up getting a little bit too emotional on certain situations. But
I think Tuesday we take what happened.
This Tuesday.
Or next week.
Tuesday,
what happened.
I think in November. This is a November show because I think.
And then Friday, how you beat it, overcame it.
Yeah, so I got a show in my head. I'm trying to outline it.
And then we archive each show as a centerpiece, hero piece of content on your website. And this centerpiece, hero piece of content on your website
See, I knew I'd get him going.
And the centerpiece, hero piece of content on your website will make your brand localized, humanized, and personalized. And when you localize, humanize, and personalize a brand, your brand becomes approachable, vulnerable, and honest. And when a brand becomes approachable, vulnerable, and honest, people openly rally around the brand, drive momentum behind the brand, and become evangelists for the brand. So that, my friend, is branding and advertising strategy at a high level.
So it's in process. It's in my little noodle to go ahead and do that. I think, again, there's
Iris says, great idea. People need to hear this message. Do it, Keith.
Well, I think I think come November, people are going to want to hear some positive stuff. I think November is a good month to tackle that. Besides that, I can't reconcile how you have this conversation while wearing a Batman suit. I'm just not sure that.
Okay, we can't do.
I'm not sure that works.
I mean, frankly speaking, I'm not sure what the viewers are going to think when Jerry and Keith are in tidy whities.
Do you have any idea what are we going to talk about other than just?
We're going to talk about not getting arrested.
There you go.
Making sure the table is covering part of our body.
So I just looked at the clock for the first time.
I know, we get it.
And I just looked at Judah, and Judah needs to get ready for a show. So we'll stay tuned. We're
November. What are you thankful for? That's from Barbara. She says that's a good idea.
There you go. I like it, Barbara.
What you're thankful for.
Well done.
Yonna wants to join.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she says I will be joining.
Oh, see, she had no idea this was coming out of me today, my mouth today.
Yeah.
Good. That's always better when Yonna's there.
I like when Yonna's here.
Yeah. I like it when she chimes in, though.
I like both. Well, when she's here, and I love when she's here.
But we stay on our P's and Q's.
Yeah. When she's not here, I'm able to get mischievous Smith to come out. Have you noticed? I'm sure you have.
11:30.
11:30. The Smiths, guys, Keith and Yonna are as good as it gets. And he gets bashful when I do this portion of the show. Look, he's putting his head down. He's bashful a little bit.
Looking at my notes.
Keith and Yonna are trusted. They're honorable. They live integrity, honesty, character. They do well by people. They put others first. I mean, I cannot think of a better team than Keith and Yonna Smith to help you through the buying and selling process of a house. The most arduous and a lot of times things that you're going to do in your life.
Sure.
Besides maybe who you marry.
It's up there. Some psychologist once said buying and selling a house is like at the top 5
most challenging things.
Stress points in one's life, like up with like loss of a loved one kind of thing.
And how long you been doing this?
Started building houses in 1987.
So real estate you've been doing for 33 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
33 years of experience, Keith and Yonna Smith. You're good people, Keith Smith.
Ditto. Back at you, brother.
So Friday, teaser? That's the toughest question I asked you today is what's happening on Friday's show.
So I had to think for a second. What is today? Today's Tuesday.
Today's
right?
Tuesday, yeah.
Don't know yet. Haven't quite figured that out yet.
But we are not in costume Friday.
No.
We're saying, are we in costume next Tuesday? Are we going to do it twice or no?
You're doing this to me live in front of everybody.
I mean,
my thought was we were only doing it on Friday.
Okay, you only want to do it Friday. All right, is that okay with you, Judah? Because I will put it on Tuesday.
Well, we'll talk. We'll get off air and we'll chat about it for a minute.
We can wait. We can only do Friday.
Well, I have a specific guest planned for Tuesday, and I just don't know how, to be honest, to be thoughtful of that person.
So if you had the guest, you think it would be weird if the guest was you were talking to through Skype and they saw you with the Batman mask on?
The guest I'm thinking of.
Does your Batman costume have the artificial muscles?
Nah.
Does it have the faux muscles?
No.
It doesn't. Have you seen those?
No. But I got a utility belt, though.
Oh, you have a utility belt?
I got a foam utility belt. It's really a horrifying sight, I have to tell you.
No, No, it's not.
It's really horrifying.
What is so horrifying about it?
It's horrifying.
Why? Yonna, is it horrifying? Why is it horrifying?
She won't tell you. She won't tell you.
You always do this. I don't like that you do this.
She's a fine person.
Why is it horrifying?
I'm a nearly 60-year-old dude, man.
So what? Age is a state of mind.
I'll show you. I will bring on Tuesday.
Like you said, it has a foam utility belt.
It has a foam utility belt. Yellow one. It's pretty cool, actually.
My son Trey says stuff like that.
I got a foam utility. Yeah. Hold it. What are you trying to say?
No, I just think that's why I think you're my homie.
I will send Judah a picture for next Tuesday.
Of you in the costume?
No.
Okay. Oh, the costume empty without you?
No.
Okay.
When I was a much younger man
People are crying, they're laughing.
That I was a much younger man that had had actual muscles that would fill out that suit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Friday will be just right for the costumes. That's from Yonna. Friday will be just right. I can see her saying that, can't you?
I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do this. I gotta probably have to drive in. That'd be great.
Yeah, with your costume on. Of course you do.
There you go. Thank you, Judah. That is literally the outfit.
My costume is very similar to that. That was from Neil Williamson. There's the foam utility belt.
No, you go back. Go back.
You're happy. You're rotating through them too fast here. Now we just have a white screen on.
Dude, it's 11:34.
I know. Can we go back to the foam utility belt?
I'm okay, but you got like a show.
There it is. Foam utility belt, Batman. Oh, man. You guys, this has been a whole lot of fun. He's Keith Smith. My name is Jerry Miller. This is Real Talk on the I Love CVille Network. It's presented by Keith and Yonna Smith, trusted advisors in the game. Mine is very similar to that, except my tidy whities are white.
So if you can keep it on for a little while, he left. That's literally, I sent that to you. That's literally from the website that I bought it from. It's exactly the same two outfits.
I think my tidy whities are white.
No, it's not. That's exactly the same outfit. Literally, and then you got delivered the wrong one. But that's literally from the website. And
yours doesn't have shoes.
No, it has boots. You can look at it real closely.
Does yours have boots?
It has little things I got to slide over my shoes.
The booties. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't spend
We're coming to talk with the city manager.
I didn't spend thousands of dollars on this. I spent hundreds of dollars, but not thousands.
Keith Smith bought me this.
I did.
I want to wear it multiple days because I feel your generosity took me over.
Well, then I got to rethink my guest for Tuesday, and we'll wear it Tuesday. And
are you serious? I will do it.
Yeah, sure. We might. The problem with that is we might get arrested on Tuesday before we can do our show on Friday.
Steve Coppinger says, you guys are going to be in jail before the show starts if you walk down the mall in those clothes.
Thank you.
Steve Coppinger, you will be in a slammer if you walk down the mall in those clothes.
Is Ray still watching?
Ray, are you still watching? Let us know, please.
Because
he is still watching.
I think he offered to play.
My wife said Trey's going to come in costume too. For Tuesday and Friday's show. What did Ray offer to play? He did offer to play something.
He offered to follow us with the trumpet, but he can play the.
He's got to be in costume. Ray Cadell. Oh, we thought Ray would be the penguin.
That's right, but we haven't really flushed that out. But I would love him to, the.
Wait, is that what you're playing right now?
No.
Oh, no, that's Liza.
That's me.
Some gas from Liza over there.
Can we go, please?
Okay, we got to go. I'm having too much fun here. Can you imagine us walking from the Omni to City Hall, you in a Batman costume, me in a Robin costume, and Judah as
How many days away is that?
Tuesday, a week.
Somebody should look on.
Liza as Bat Dog. Well, we're talking about doing it twice.
So we're doing, that's
what we're talking about.
There you go.
That's the look he gives me every day, though.
Yeah, well, that's for very good reason.
And then Ray's following us, playing the trumpet as the penguin.
This is a real estate show. You realize that?
This is your right. All right, we're out of here. Keith Smith.
But somebody ought to look.
He's my friend. I'm going to say it again, my friend.
I'm proud to call you a friend also, brother.
I feel it. Judah, you're my friend, too.
But somebody ought to check the Weather Channel, see what the weather looks like.
Okay, it would be even funniher if it was in rain.
That just wouldn't work. Batman with an umbrella?
Soaking wet in tights? That's terrifying.
There's the binding and everything.
Gosh. All right, people are loving that. We got to go. We got a show we got to do.
So what do you got? Who do you got going on?
Susan Krischel. She's the visionary behind X Park.
Ooh, cool.
She and Ludwig.
Oh, yeah, we
and
like
they're
that space.
doing amazing. They're becoming the city market.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. I was there the other day.
Charlottesville City has allowed their market to be a drive-through market on an asphalt parking lot in Charlottesville High School. And while that was happening, X said, you know what? We'll just host the vendors here.
I got nothing to do at 12:30 if you want me to hang around. No.
Keith Smith. You guys, this just got put on the feed from Laura. You guys will be leading Charlottesville's Halloween parade. I can't wait.
So are they actually going to have one this year?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have one.
Ray Kendall can wear a tux. That's from Iris Luck.
There you go.
More people chiming in about this. We gotta go. Okay, we gotta go. I gotta go.
I don't have any meetings.
I have to do it. I have a call in a show. Real talk. I love CVille Network. Keith and Yonna Smith.
That's the first time in 2 years I heard you stutter.
I know. I literally have to go. This guy. I just looked at the time.
Okay. Yeah. I've been trying to tell you. You're not listening.
This guy's an amazing human being. Judah Smith is as well. Thank you kindly.
Come on, Robin. Let's wrap it up. Wrap up.
What's the catchphrase that they say? What's a Batman and Robin catchphrase?
Well, there's all kinds of them, but
Let's give us a good one.
Like "Holy cow," or there's all.
To the Batmobile, Batman. Let's go.
No, you're just strange. You're just strange. I'm gonna sit here and have a cup of coffee. That's just weird.